The book of the week is The Wisdom of Wolves by Elli Radinger. You'll be surprised at how human wolves really are and what we can learn from them. What is your impression of wolves? Scary? Fierce? Evil? Elli Radinger shares with us in her book The Wisdom of Wolves that the wolves we see in most movies and stories are actually not portrayed accurately. In fact, there are many things that we can learn from wolves to be more human. Wolves are family-oriented. They are creatures of harmony, playful, and affectionate. A wolf family is closely knitted and shows mutual care for one another. The elderly in the family are valued for their experience, therefore enjoys great respect and are lovingly supported by the pack. The wounded are also being taken care of instead of being left behind. In contrast, how have we treated our parents and elders? Do we value or respect them? When was the last time we said "I love you" or given a hug to our parents and elders? Let us learn to be more appreciative and grateful towards them. Give them a little of our time, love, and attention. When it comes to disciplining the young wolves, the family is united and stands on the same side. The young wolf will not get the support from any adult member of the family while it's being disciplined. The wolf's way of education is to let the young know that it can have its own experiences, but they also must know that every action has its consequences and it's responsible for it. Wow, I have no other words to describe how I love this. On top of this, when I read the wolves grieve over loss and how they deal with it, I was really touched. Let me read off this paragraph from the book for you. Wolves grieved. When a family member dies or disappears, they go searching. They are unsettled and sometimes aggressive. They howl dolefully and for a long time. But eventually, they pull themselves together, get up and get on with things. They follow the rhythm of life. They hunt, eat, reproduce, and look after their families. They do what all living creatures do in nature. They celebrate the here and now. Only we humans seem to have lost this ability. We constantly worry about our future or bury ourselves in the past. If only we could live more in the present. I tend to agree with this. Stop thinking about what we can't control and start taking charge of what we can control to live our lives meaningfully. Wolves are masters of communication. They communicate with their bodies, eyes, nose, ears, and positions of their tails, and they also communicate by marking territory and howling. Their ability to communicate clearly and effectively is one of the reasons why they seldom fight with one another. Communication is a way for them to create mutual understanding and establish trust. An important means of communication in wolves is their eyes. A direct stare means a threat. Any wolf that stares back means aggression. However, if a wolf looks down or away, it's usually a submissive or friendly sign. And generally, wolves avoid direct eye contact because they are cautious in dealing with each other. They may look at each other briefly, but not staring directly for an extended period of time. The growling, snapping of teeth, or obstructing a path may be threatening signs, but they are done to prevent serious fights and not to get into one. Wolves love physical touches, as it's an expression of care and affection. They love to groom each other, nibble, and run side by side. When lovers touch each other, they often close their eyes as a sign of well-being. In comparison, why do humans often fail to understand each other when we can communicate with language, gestures, and mind? Leadership is neither aggression nor power. It's usually depicted that the alpha wolf is the strongest, biggest, or bravest of the pack. However, this is not necessarily true in the wild. What's more important is its experience and personality. The alpha does not dominate. Instead, it delegates the appropriate tasks to members of the family who can do it better. The alphas don't have to constantly dominate any member if they radiate natural authority. This is leadership. Leadership is a stressful role. A study showed that in the feces of the pack leaders, the hormone glucocorticoid was found. This is a result of long-term stress and could slowly affect many areas of their body, such as a weakened immune and reproductive system. Therefore, it is in the interest of any pack leader to maintain harmony and stress-free mood in his pack. This can be done by setting up clear tasks and boundaries, as well as practicing harmonious rituals. And if you've not guessed it by now, leadership is female. Even though important decisions are made by both the male and female alphas of the pack, when in doubt, the female will take the lead, and the males have no problem with that. Planning for success. Wolves do not attack without a plan. That's where the experienced wolves or alpha comes in. They assess their risk and make sure their attack is not a waste of energy and not a dangerous one. They are able to judge a situation, weigh their options, and proceed with the least damage or risk to their pack. Here are two examples from the book that shows how they assess their risk and decide when they should carry on and when they should let it go. The first example is a wolf pack had drove a bull elk to the edge of a cliff. Now for info, a bull elk is 5 to 7 times heavier than a wolf and is much more powerful. Therefore, wolves usually hunt in packs and not individual. Now, they stared at each other for a long time. If the wolves had attacked, they may fall down the cliff with their prey. And after some consideration, they left. The rate of success is just not worth the risk. Another example was an elk cow that was driven into a river. The cow was tall enough to stand in the river while the wolves were not. However, the wolves displayed patience and drove the cow back to the river every time it tried to climb on shore. 6 hours later, they were finally able to kill their exhausted prey. 6 hours! In this situation, they had assessed their risk appropriately, and what they needed was patience. Brilliant, isn't it? There are a lot more interesting and touching scenarios illustrated in this book, which made me laugh and cry. And I highly recommend you to check it out. And if you like this summary, hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell to be notified of my weekly learnings. And for a free copy of the one-page PDF summary, click on the link in the description below. Thank you for watching, wish you well, and see you in the next video.